How to attract women. The 6 C's every single man needs to know to become a chick magnet. Hello, my name is Chris Arnett, aka Player Supreme. I'm the owner of ZenMag.com and the Real Men's Channel. And today I'm going to talk to you about the 6 C's of becoming a total chick magnet. As you see here, I've been coaching for a long time. I'm speaking at Borders bookstores on the subject of where to meet women. And I've been coaching and teaching and giving advice since the early 2000s. So let's get into the 6 C's of how to attract women and become a total chick magnet. With me is my girlfriend, Jovina, who owns howtodressformen.com, which happens to be the first C, which is your clothes. Now, women, they love a well-dressed man. They love a man whose colors actually match their hair, eye color, and skin tone. Most of us guys, we're just stupid dudes, and we don't know how to dress properly. And that's one of the things that cause a lot of guys to suffer in the game.
I feel like men are lazy when it comes to fashion.
Yes.
Because
Jovina?
They don't feel like they need to make an effort. And that's where they make their first mistake, because women make an effort every single day of their life.
That's true.
And if you can't meet them halfway, and you plan on maybe capturing the eye of somebody who is worthy of you, or you're worthy of, that is, that's going to be difficult, because you may have a certain type of woman in mind and you want her to be classy and you want her to always look good. Well, if you're not putting the same effort into it, she's not going to bother with you. She's going to go to the guy that is putting the effort in.
That's true. Now, you don't have to come suited and booted like these fellows, although that's the top of the game. That's A game. These two fellows, they are A game, although their colors may not match their skin and all that, but they're coming with the top clothes. That's the very tip top if you want to show up in your A game. Now, you can dress down a bit in like a nice shirt, a nice pair of jeans, correct, Jovina,
yes.
And nice shoes.
You need to dress according to the occasion. So something like this obviously is a little more upscale. They're obviously going to some type of an event, so they're a little bit dressed up. So that, some occasions don't call for that. There are casual events where you can scale it down. You don't need the tie. The shirt can be a little more casual, opened up the first couple of buttons up, on the top, and just tone it down quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So you do need to dress for what the occasion is. There are occasions where you can wear jeans,
mm-hmm.
and you don't have to be in a suit.
Mm-hmm. Like a nightclub, you can go out
Right.
to a nightclub in a pair of jeans and a nice shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen men, though, they do come in with a pair of blazer or a blazer on and nice jeans and a nice shirt. Those men, they've always attracted more eye contact than the guy who's just normally dressed, by the way.
Because a woman, when they see this type of a man, they know that he puts an effort into everything that he does. And that's another thing. It's not just your personal life, it's your professional life, because they can look at these men and say, they are successful. They know what they want. They are about something. They are somebody. And
Very
true. Say one was wearing a suit and the other guy's just wearing a raggedy old t-shirt or just a plain old t-shirt and some faded out jeans. They're going to judge those two men according to how they are dressed, because
mm-hmm.
men do the same to women all the time.
Yes, we do. So if you want to attract a woman's eye, look at how you're showing up. Now, there's a lot of strange people on the internet that I've ran into since I've been doing videos, and they're very eccentric. They say, why should I dress for them? Well, you can suffer or you can play the game.
Well, women dress for men all the time. They dress in a way that they know will attract a man. That's why they dress the way that they do sometimes. Mm-hmm. So the kind of man that they do attract depends on how they're dressed. And a man is the same thing. Depending on how you're dressed is the type of woman you're going to attract.
I agree. So let's move on. Now that we talked about clothes, I hope you totally understand the power of clothes. Looks like it's misspelled. The power of clothes. Let's move on to the next C, which is your car.
Oh, the car.
The car. Now, of course, if this is, I'm showing you top of the game. Now, I don't own a car like that myself, but if I did, yeah, if I did, I'd be a total chick magnet. Don't blame women for looking at a man because he has a nice car. Don't think women are cheap and superficial. It's just normal. We all look at guys with these types of cars.
They equate that with success. Once again, they equate a nice car with success. Keep that in mind. Exactly.
It just makes you look more successful. But if you don't have a car, again, all of these are criteria that you don't have to have, but if you want to become a total 100% chick magnet, then these are things you want. Now, I drove a 4-door Saturn, and I did very well in the game. I didn't have a car like this. In fact, I've never owned a car like this. One of my sons has a car like this, but he's married now. But you do want to have a car. You don't necessarily have to have a car, but a car recognized is a chick magnet. Some people live in cities like New York where it's not practical to have a car, and they use public transportation.
Because a majority of people do not own cars in a place like New York City.
Exactly.
There are places in Canada that are also like that. They rely on the public transportation. It's just more convenient. San Francisco, for example, is another place where a lot of people, my son lives there. He does not have a car because it's just not
convenient.
Well, parking is really horrible, so there would be nowhere for him to actually keep the car. So there are instances where it's just not doable or not convenient.
Yes.
Now, like where we live, for example, you know, how are you going to get a public? Sure, there's public transportation, but it is not like in other major cities.
Exactly.
So we rely on having our own car and our own transportation.
Yes. And I live in a place called Sacramento, California. It's a sprawling town. I see lots of males, minority males, African-American like myself, who are walking. Of course, they're walking by themselves because they don't have a girl. So if you live in a place like that, recognize that girls don't want to date a guy that doesn't have the trappings of potential. When you own a car, it shows that you have the ability to make a car payment, your insurance. Basically, you have something going for yourself. Recognize that. So it's not necessary to have a fancy car. In some places, it's not even convenient to have a car. But if you don't live in those kind of places, then you definitely want to work your way up to owning a car. Okay? Don't think that because maybe you live in Chicago or Illinois, someplace, that's too big of a city. I only gave New York because New York is extremely crowded. You know, millions of people live there. So
and a lot of people live in apartments where there isn't parking available for them. So you have to take all of these things into consideration. It's not just about whether you have a car or not. It's about whether you have the ability or the space to be able to have a car. And big cities like that, a lot of times, people do not own vehicles.
Exactly. So my point is that a car is a chick magnet. It goes along with attracting women. So you judge whether or not you are going to become a 100% chick magnet or a partial chick magnet, okay? Let's move on to the next scene. Now that we've talked about clothes and car, let's move to the crib, because she just mentioned the apartment. Now, here's my thing. A man should have his own place. You should not be living with your mommy and daddy, and mommy shouldn't be cooking for you and washing your clothes after you become over 18. You should be learning to take care of yourself. And if you're over 18, you should be working on getting your own home. If you're over 21 and you're working and you're still living with mommy and daddy, that's not good. If you're over 25, you're still at home, that's a shame. So you want to have your own crib. That means your own apartment, your own house or whatever. So you have a place to bring a woman to.
Exactly.
You don't want to have to go back to, her place and you got to tell her you live with your mommy. A woman doesn't want a mama's boy. She wants a man. Now, there's something about having your own place that changes you from a boy to a man completely. Some of you guys, you make good money, you still live with your mommy, you haven't become that complete 100% uber man. Recognize there's something missing from your aura and your makeup. When you get your own place, you become totally responsible for you. And then you start steering the course of your life in a more positive direction. So recognize that if your life isn't doing well enough to have your own place, I'm referring to fellows that still live at home, aren't doing anything with their lives, but playing video games. Maybe you might try something else instead of trying to attract women, you know? Because women don't want a man or a boy, they want men, okay? Exactly. Now, I'm talking about average society now. I don't deal with ghetto society. I don't live in places where they have, what are they called, ghettos? I don't live in a ghetto. I live in a big town.
It's a middle class neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm like middle class. So I deal with middle class and up. If you're a guy that lives in a ghetto and you don't have your own crib, you're not working, this program is not for you. Okay? This is for men who are, I'm sorry, but you know, average and up, or what's called middle class and up. All right? And middle class, we tend to get our own places. Whether you have roommates or not, you still need your own place. One of my students, he had been living with roommates, actually, and he got his own place, and he couldn't describe how it felt waking up the first day in your own place. Well, I can. My first place, and I woke up that next morning, it was a feeling of empowerment that I cannot describe to you. You can't describe it in words. To have your own place, to make your own food, to clean your own clothes, to have your own environment that is in your own power. In your mommy's place, in your mommy's house, that's her place. You have no power as a man there.
Somebody's always in your way. It's your parents are always there. You don't have any privacy. You can't do as you please because, well, you're not really in your own home. You're just in someone else's home. With a roommate, it's pretty much the same situation. If you're going to bring somebody over and you have a roommate, you have to have some kind of a plan for the roommate to maybe not be there so you can have some privacy. And, you know, on a day-to-day basis, you know, when you get up in the morning, you don't want to have to fight for the bathroom and fight for the kitchen to make your breakfast and, you know, these types of things. It's so much more of an independent feeling to just wake up by yourself and be able to do what you want and have nobody in your way.
Now, on a nastier note, there's nothing like getting up out of bed and walking to the bathroom without having to put clothes on.
Yeah, you can walk around naked and nobody's going to say anything.
Exactly, buck naked. You need your own.
Your mommy's house and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. You need your own place of power. You have no power in mommy's house and mommy feeding you. That's not a man. Okay? If that's you, then this program is really not for you. All right? I work with guys who are becoming aspiring men. Let's move on to the next C, which is convo. That stands for conversation. If you cannot have a conversation with a woman, you will never get there. You will never, ever, ever get there because you will creep women out. You will be the type of guy that's creepy. You will try talking to girls and they will get a bad feeling in their stomach. Jovine, have you ever talked to a guy that was just creepy and that he had no conversation that just turned you off?
Yeah, and they just had nothing to say, nothing to offer to, you know, you're trying to talk to them, you're trying to carry on a conversation, they just have nothing to contribute. And I don't care if he even looks like this guy right here. I mean, we're looking at this couple here. They're a nice looking couple. Mm-hmm. They're obviously, he's an attractive male. If fine, she's smiling, but obviously he has conversation skills. If he didn't have conversation skills, those looks
mean nothing.
Would not help him at all.
Now, a long time ago, there was the stripper boy, the buff guy. He had no conversation skills, correct? There was a guy that at the club I met Jovine at, he was like a stripper. He was a stripper. And what was his name? Keonta or something like that.
It was
different name. Kiana, but he had no conversation skills. And he tried to approach Jovina here at the club, opened his mouth, and it was an immediate turn off.
He was so full of himself, first of all.
That too, yeah. So it doesn't matter what you look like. You could be very attractive with no conversation skills. It's still a complete turn off to women. And they'll talk about you behind your back about that.
Oh, yeah.
The moment you turn your back, she's going to whisper to her friend, this guy has no conversation skill. Remember, women are conversation junkies. If you look at women, they're always on the phone communicating.
And don't make the conversation just about you. You know, you don't want to come off stuck on yourself.
Have you ever ran into someone that did that?
This guy you were just talking about.
Oh,
like
yes. Yeah, I don't know.
That's all he did was talking about himself. It's like, I don't care about what you think about you.
That's a complete turn off too. That's another fellow that has no real conversation skills. You got to learn to talk to women, okay? When you converse with women, they feel a certain way. That's how you can control how a woman feels. If you use conversation right, you can actually have her getting turned on and really into you. You develop rapport with conversation. Mm-hmm. Conversation is one of the most powerful things that you can add to your arsenal. It will make you a chick magnet so that they stick to you. The other things will attract them, but conversation will keep her there and get her interested in you.
And earn her trust. That's another big deal.
Exactly. Now let's move on to our next one, which is sex. Spell with a C to fit the format.
I was going to say, somebody can't spell.
Scintillating sex is what I'm talking about. If you don't know how to make a woman have an orgasm or help her get her orgasm,
you're in trouble.
Exactly. Tell them.
You're in trouble. Let's face it, women want to get that orgasm. I don't care what you think the truth actually is. The truth is they want it. And if you can't give it to them, they will find somebody who can.
There you go, right from the horse's mouth. If you can't get her off, she's not going to, chances of her coming back around for seconds are slim to none. That's why a lot of guys don't get second dates. That's why we have this whole phenomenon of PUAism where they run out and they chase after girls. They might get lucky and get one, but they don't come back because they're not teaching these guys how to make love to women, how to pleasure them.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. Let's say you have all the other 5 C's down.
I actually have 6 of them, but yes.
I know, but we're only on number 5.
Yes.
But this is, if you have 5 of the C's, 5 of the 6 C's, and you don't have this one, number 5.
Yes.
She might give you a second date just to see if, maybe it just wasn't. It just wasn't the day, you know, it just wasn't a good day or whatever the situation may be. She might give you a second chance just to kind of see like, oh, I really like this guy. He's got everything else that I'm looking for. But that wasn't, that didn't turn out the way I expected it to. I'll give him another chance. May give you a second chance, but if you can't nail it on the second chance, then you might as well forget it.
Has it ever happened to you?
Yeah, it has.
Won't go into it. That's your own personal life. I was just kind of curious. There are fellas out there that really have no clue about women. I ran into a fella on my other YouTube channel that wasn't aware that women could have orgasms. He had no concept of it.
I've heard that.
Yeah. There are males on this planet that have no idea that women like to have sex. I guess they think it's just for men. They do have a saying that women give sex to get into a relationship. Men go into a relationship to get sex. Unfortunately, there are some women. I ran into one woman that was a client of mine in my personal training business, and she said she had to teach her husband. So she basically dated a guy that gave poor sex, and she married him. He's an attorney. She's a professional herself, but she invested her in him. Not all women that you're dating are going to do that. Okay. They're not going to invest it. If you can't come bringing the goods in today's environment of Tinder, the hookup app, it used to be a hookup app.
I've heard of that.
Yes. You guys are aware with Tinder used to be a really good hookup app. Women on there aren't hooking up anymore. It's now just about their self-validation, but they also want to check you out before they even jump into bed with you now. Because they ran into a lot of guys who couldn't bring the goods. That's one of the reasons. And also, a lot of chicks got on there that were more decent. It started out as these, they were kind of hot, but they're sluts. They got on there and they were giving out sex left and right. To end this section, it is vital that you learn how to give a girl an orgasm, okay? Because when you have that, you have a certain mystique about you. You have a certain feel that women can pick up on. Women have like a sixth sense. Not all, but many have a sixth sense about men that they view who are good in bed because they have a certain level of confidence about themselves.
Oh, this to me would have been number one, confidence.
Yes, I didn't put them in any order, by the way, fellas. This actually would be the number one if we were to order these. And then sex would be number two, and I would take it down from there. But you've got to have confidence in yourself. Confidence is like the nitrous oxide to your personality. Confidence is like the difference between repelling and attracting. When you lack confidence, you repel people away from you, especially you nice guys who try to do that self-deprecating thing. You talk bad about yourself. You hope to get the pity points. Well, the pity points don't get you the punani points. If you know what punani is, that's the woman's vagina. Okay? Confidence is gold. And Jovina?
I stress this so much when I'm doing a consultation with someone, is that confidence needs to be the most important part of the package. And this is a package deal. These 6 points are all a package deal. But to me, this one is actually the most important one, because if you don't have confidence in yourself, a woman can sense that. And it's like showing fear. They can sense that. And if you're not confident, and if you don't hold yourself up to a certain esteem, so to speak, they can sense that. So confidence is definitely the number one for me.
Now, let me talk about why. And this is where some of you guys who play that nice guy role, that shy guy. Well, I'm just shy. You blink at girls like a deer caught in the headlights, and you act all shy and demure. If you go back to ancient man, go back to ancient Europe, hunter-gatherer days, a confident hunter could bring home the bacon, bring home the food, and protect her. So it is programmed into women to seek out the confident hunter protectors. Now you come forward to the future, to today, women are still on that same track, but we have what's called society. So women look for the confident males in society that go out there into the world, bring home the bacon, and protect her. Still same thing. When you have confidence about yourself, you're indicating to her that I'm a successful hunter, I'm a successful provider, I'm a successful protector. And it's like the oil that makes the machine work. It's like, without it, it's like having cornflakes with no milk or sugar. Just dry, plain, crackling cornflakes in your mouth. Now, some of you guys may like that, tasteless. But yeah, it's tasteless. You're a tasteless man without confidence. You actually repel women, especially when you do that nice guy thing. They'll pat you on the head and say, oh, you're a good boy. You guys get that? The girl slaps you on the back and rubs your back. How many guys have had that? That's because you lack confidence. She wouldn't do that to a confident male. She would bow down to a confident male. But if she's come up touching you as if you're not a sexual threat to her, she has lost.
You're her little cousin or something.
Exactly. You're like a buddy. You end up in the friend zone. And you guys who end up in friend zone, that's because you lack the confidence that would attract her.
You have to realize when you end up in the friend zone, you put yourself there. So be very aware how you conduct yourself around women, so you can stay out of that.
And I don't know if too many males have gotten out of friend zone. I don't even talk about it. When I get a guy that's obsessed on a girl that is in friend zone, I try to wake him up. It would be like her having sex with her brother. Now, sometimes that happens where they get drunk and she feels bad afterwards. She won't even talk to the guy afterwards. I don't do that. All of this that I'm talking about are the tools that it takes to become what I call a real man. Doesn't take this fancy sports car, but you do want to have a vehicle in many of the situations, environments. It doesn't take wearing a suit and tie, but you do want to be well dressed. You do want to be able to hold a conversation. You do want to have the confidence and the ability to make love to a woman and having personal confidence in yourself. Everything I'm talking about will get you 100% attraction. We have all these at the top. A level, I said A level, you do become an attractor, okay? Imagine if you had the dress on point. Imagine if you had the conversation skills, you had a really nice car, you
apartment.
Had a nice apartment. Imagine you had all those, and it was A level. Even the densest, most stubbornest, stuck in his head type of male can see the truth of that. So where do you go for help? Where do you go to learn how to talk to girls, how to have confidence, how to meet women, how to talk to women, how to give them sexual pleasure? Here, right here on my channel. If you need help, then go to my store and purchase a product. Or if you really want to go deep, then get a consultation. Get my consultation package. Part of that package, you can also get learn how to dress with Jovina. Go to our website, howtodressformen.com. You can start there, working on your dress. So many males have written back and talked to me about it. They changed the way they dress, and women started noticing them. They were blown away by it. I'm like, duh, you couldn't put two and two together, dude? Yes. So if you want help in building this package, if you want to learn how to do your internet profile, and there are some males who say, oh, internet dating doesn't work. I've already proven that it does. And last night I did a video on the attractiveness of some of the women on sites like POF. Because these guys who say that, you're not my market. You're not someone that needs, that I even want to bother helping. If you're the type of male that, I don't even want to date the hot chicks, don't bother getting my help. Because I believe you got to get in where you fit in. If you're, and I don't want to use numbers, but let's say you're a 5 and you're slathering on 10s, you're a man that lives in unrealistic fantasy world. You're probably someone that whacks off to internet porn. So you have unrealistic idea of how a normal woman looks out in the world. You have to get in where you fit in. That's the type of male I'm looking for. I don't like cheap and superficial males that only focus on the smoking hot women. I'm not the man for you, and you're not the client that I want to work with. I want real men that want to find real women in their lives, if they want to find real love, not cheap and superficial dudes. And this market is overloaded with them. So if you're a real kind of guy and you're looking for love, looking for to date or to have a girlfriend, then I'm the guy you want to talk to. Okay? So go to my site, theplayersupremeshow.info, theplayersupremeshow.info, and just click on my store, get my consultation package. We'll meet once a week. Jovina will be here to help you with your conversation skills. I've now added her to my program where you will learn to actually have a conversation. We'll guide you. We'll guide you to perfection, to that A-level game. Okay, fellas? So good luck to you, fellas.